Yes, sir, I'm going to give it to you.
I am expecting.
I love cricket. I really love playing cricket. So everything that we are going to talk about might revolve around cricket. But don't forget, I am here to talk about humor. Now, one thing that our Toastmasters has not told you is, I have been born and brought up in UK. All my schooling was from UK. Tulli Kanchan is 35 kilometers from here. UK. Sir, ma'am, what I'm doing right now is the beginning of the best humorous speech that you can take ahead with a hook. When you start anything, when you play cricket, for the ball, you need a bat. And the bat means B for beginning. And the beginning has to have a hook. If you want to begin your speech, the first 10 to 15 seconds, sir, 10 to 15 seconds of your speech, you should at least get one chuckle from the audience. If not a big laugh. We don't want to directly have a big joke coming in at first. But within that 10 to 15 seconds, break the ice. Get them to at least chuckle and smile. Now what I've done here is I have already demonstrated what can be done with a simple thing like a ball that I had in my hand. As simple as that. Second from bat is B for beginning. A for amaze the audience as you want. Attract the audience as you want. Because, sir, in the humorous speech, the best way to win is to ensure that your audience never looks anywhere except you. All they have to do is to look only and only at you. And all they have to do is only and only smile. Except maybe the ending where you might end on an emotional note. Some people ask me, Nikhil, humorous speech, why should you end it on an emotional note? End it on a happy note. Of course. You shouldn't end it on a happy note. But, sir, there has to be something for the audience also. You are listening to me. What is it that you are going to take away from my speech? So T stands for termination, which is the ending, which can be emotional or not emotional. Which means the conclusion can be something that they can take away. But even if you have an emotional ending, do not end with emotions. At the end, still have a punchline saying something funny because you want them to laugh at the end also, because you are giving the speech to the audience, but you are being judged by the judges, not the audience. That is why I am giving you what I am giving. Sir, judges are going to remember you only if you have some lasting impression at the end, and that last has to be punched. Now what I've tried to do here is, you just heard Gunjan say that I won the 3rd place in the district humorous speech championship. How many speeches would have I given before I gave my first winning speech?
13.
13? First 30 speech in the club. How many speeches would I have been giving before giving that winning speech in my club contest? Any guesses?
1 to 4.
Yes, 24?
3 to 4.
3 to 4? My first speech was in the contest. My first speech, sir, was directly in the humorous speech contest. And that is the speech that carried me to the district level championship. What I am trying to tell you is, sir, it's possible. It's very much possible. Now what is to be done in order to have, some people ask me, sir, how do I decide a topic for humorous speech? I've never done that. Guess it good. Simple. Yes. What is it that frustrates you the most? Think about that, and that is your speech topic. Best speech topic is that. Something that has troubled you a lot. Something that you do not want to get back into. And see the funny side of that particular speech. Now I shared my speech with you on a group. How many of you have seen my speech, by the way? Anyone who has seen? My speech title was "Do Whatever You Want." So I went there and did whatever I want.
You wanted.
And I still want. Now, how I began this speech, sir, everyone in our life keeps on telling us, Nikhil, you can do whatever you want. But once we do it, then everyone tells us this was wrong, that was wrong. Then why do you tell me, do whatever you want? Wife tells you, kya karo? Karo, kuch bhi karo. And you do something, I did not tell you to do that, you do it. Everywhere, this is what happens. And I narrated an instance where I went in a cafe, sat with a girl, and I asked her, so what will you have? She said, whatever you want. And I narrated that instance, doing something fun. It was a simple thing, as simple as going on a date with a girl, as simple as that. But just the narration around that simple incident is what made it fun. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you don't need to have jokes. You don't need to have incidences that are funny. You find one incident and you make it funny. It's possible.
Yes.
Now nobody has asked me whether it was true or not. Nobody has dared to ask me whether it is true or not. Only I know whether it was true or not. And it wasn't. It wasn't true. I did not do that. But then who knows whether I did it or not? I made it my story, which means make it personal. Sir, nobody likes Gyan in this story. Nobody likes Gyan. But once you say, this happened with me, everyone is wanting to listen. Right? So even that funny incidents is something that has happened with you. And how do you decide? Sir, office mein kaam kar rahe ho, you are in the office all day. Look around, what happens? Look in the canteen, what happens? Look at the travel. If you are in Hinjawadi, someone was telling Hinjawadi, look at the travel. What happens there? You travel in the metro, what happens in the metro? There are so many. In college, what happens in college? If you flunk, what happens? If you pass, what is the relatives that are thinking about you? I gave my CA exam. And the day of my result, people were calling me not to check whether I've passed, to check how bad I feel. That can be my topic, how CAs are treated. There are so many ways that you can design a speech, which can be very simple. Sir, the first person who won this speech, you know what was his topic? Toastmaster Majnu, what was his topic in Goa? Yes, local trains. Yeah. Just observational humor, nothing else. All he did was talk about how people behave in a local train. How you can see the funny side of things in something which is actually so frustrating on a daily basis. And convert it into fun. As simple as that. So first of all, even if you have not tried, it's possible. I am a live example. And you don't have to think of something. It's your daily life. It's your personal thing that makes an impact. You don't want to listen to anything which is different from what you have experienced. Okay. Now, how can we design it? It's very simple. I have already told you that make it about US, but when you are talking about humor, you should be aware that the audience is expecting a punchline to come. Because they are expecting. In a normal speech, they don't expect humor at first. But in a humorous speech, they expect you. And you have to meet the expectations also. How do you do that? You first break the expectations and then give what is expected. As a surprise. For example, I went to Goa. Now, before I went to Goa, what the speech that I designed was, I have been thinking of traveling around the world. I've traveled so many places around the world, including Alibag, Shirdi, and Alibag. I've been to Konkan so many times that when I go for a swim, even fishes come to me and say, "You were not there on the last time also." Now, I am talking about traveling, but all that I want to tell you is, I have not traveled. As simple as that, I have not traveled. But can we make it funny? They are expecting that when I am talking about traveling, I am going to say that I have traveled. So you set up an expectation, break the expectation, and again give back something. So it's the power of three sometimes, the power of three. What is it that you need in your life? Food, clothing, and compliments. They are expecting the third thing to be shelter. Now I know that this is not a big joke, but this can be rude. This can be something that some of them can relate to. ये जो one-liners है ना, these one-liners may not actually make the momentum of your speech, but they can break the ice at least. And what takes it further is your personal story. Your story, how you build that story. Now, how you build that story? So exaggerate. Do not say, this happened with me. You have to make it as if some big thing has happened. You know it's very small. But something big has happened. Like, I was ordering the menu. And the menu card was with me. And I don't know how to read what I said. I want this. Be that. I don't say that I want this. This is what I want to say. Also add characters. Excellent choice, sir. Do you want the cannelloni? Do you want the spaghetti? Do you want this, that? I am breaking the momentum of my speech. Right now, I was talking as Nikhil. When I say that some character has come in, now I actually play the character rather than myself with all the things that are there, and one of the most important thing of that is your voice and pitch. This is not necessarily for the humorous speech, but any speech. But it is very, very important, especially in the humorous speech, that you enact the incidents. People should actually see this happening in front of them. 45 minutes. And not even once a person in the audience felt that we should look anywhere else. He hooked us, not just with his content, but with his humor. And what he did, he made fun of himself a lot. His entire speech was designed as if he is doing something absolutely naughty, absolutely bad. He talked about being the Toastmaster of the day. And he showed the picture of someone as a rapper without the t-shirt, standing there. As soon as we saw the picture, which is again a visual. Now we are not allowed to show the visual in a speech, but are we not allowed to use a prop? Of course. And a prop can be as simple, maybe when I used the menu card, it made an impact. People could see that yes, now Nikhil is in a restaurant. And now he has the menu card. And the menu card was not in my hand. Some waiter actually took the menu card and gave the menu card. So it's enactment that is happening. You have that in front. And you are making fun of your own self. That's the best way to create humor because it's self-deprecation. I don't laugh at the cost of you. I laugh of myself and people enjoy that humor. I enjoy that humor. And if I enjoy, you enjoy as well. Some people ask, sir, then why not have some? I don't know how to do it. WhatsApp forwards and forwarded jokes. If you have heard them, the other person has also heard them. Do not have, absolute warning, do not have WhatsApp forwards, any forwarded jokes that you have seen from the social media. First of all, plagiarization is not enough. You cannot plagiarize because then someone can actually have a test registered against that. So you cannot use content more than 25% from outside. It has to be original, which means something is possible. But if you do that, that person has already heard it, he will not laugh. He will not remember. So it has to be authentic, original. Now when we say authentic, do I have to just run around here, make fun, make it as a comedy scene, one person comedy? Not necessarily. So Majnu, I really, really admire that person for the fact that he won the contest without actually doing any exaggeration on the stage. I did a lot of exaggeration. which is not my normal thing of it. What I've learned is that even though you are a composed speaker, when you go for a humorous speech contest, this is what the audience expects, so let's do it. So with that thought, I did it. But when I saw Majnu, my thought was broken. You can win even without exaggeration. How? Sir, check your forms that I've given you and check how many marks are there for the content. Exam में ना, in chartered accountancy exam, how I clear everything in the first attempt, I'll give the secret. Before the exam, I used to check the mark sheet.
Yes.
I knew exactly what marks were, and do that, and you pass. Simple. So you have the mark sheet in front of you. 55 marks for the content. 55. And some people ask me, Nikhil, I'm not good in English. I don't know the grammar. Check how many marks for grammar. Sir, 5 marks. Only 5. Doesn't matter. It's the least important thing in everything. Your language. All that it has to do is that it has to be appropriate with the situation that you are talking about. If you are talking about, let's say, a Mumbai local train, you can be like a gully boy. Your language can be like a gully boy. It's possible because it is appropriate to the situation. So if you have a weakness, convert that into your strength by having this situation like that. As simple as that. Nobody has told you easy super speech that. You can decide anything that you want. You can actually do whatever you want there, right? That was my speech title. I did. I can also do that. So what is it in the content that needs to be done? Sir, there is a detailed write-up that is already given at the back. How people are going to evaluate you. Okay? What are the things traveling on this side of the wheel? This is why you should use stage. People tell you that you will use stage. There is one point there that how are you delivering, how are you using the stage, everything. But then how to do it is what I'm telling you. And this I've learned from giving test speeches at a lot of places. Going on and talking to people. Right? So all that I want to tell you is first, humorous speech is no rocket science. You can actually do whatever you want and win money. Because it's all about your personal take about certain things. Simple things is keep it original. Keep it character built, having characters introduced. And don't try to, you laugh at things. Wait for the people to laugh. Even if they don't, you continue and enjoy your own speech. Because if you enjoy, people are going to enjoy. As simple as that. Okay. So I think with that, my time seems to be up. If you have any questions to ask me.